Episode 2.
Here we are again.
Yeah.
Yeah, quick scene change,
Another
costume
day.
change. Yeah, I know. Wow, it really moves fast around here, doesn't it?
Just woken up. I know, just about to go to bed.
Very hard to say. Just quickly, I mean, how's the jet lag? Crazy, right? I can't believe how tired I am all the time.
At the beginning, I was like, I feel fine.
Yeah, I know.
Is this recording, by the way?
Yeah, oh, fucking better be.
Yeah, and then every night at 8:30, I'm like, and then by 9, I'm like,
Yeah.
and then by 10, I'm like, I can't speak. And
Totally.
all of us are just like,
Yeah.
dead on the couch.
Before that all kicked in, we got off to a hot start. We went into a tone parlour, out until God knows when, at some dive bar we got dragged to afterwards.
True.
That was fun, very fun.
Yeah.
Beers weren't great, but but also ordering the beers. The build up was for me very exciting, culturally rich, lot going on. Had to learn very fast on my feet in terms of like how the fuck do you get the guy to actually
order in this place.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Yeah. Real cultural change, you know, it's like Japan or.
Well, sure, whatever. Yeah, I mean, so some people find I get
you-
my kicks ordering beers.
Once you start like scratching a tiny bit into a place like this dive bar, and I'm like, what is it that's different about this than the places that we have in Perth? What similarities or differences there are? And then you start, you know, as we transverse the streets, you think there's no big taverns like with loads of young drunk people kind of roaming around shouting across the street. You know, like it just. We were in a tiny little coffee shop today, just ordering takeaway, and we were like, in still a city of 8 million, they can get away with this tiny shop that's throbbing with life, but we continually build these big tenancies and then have these businesses fall over because the property's too big, they can't justify the cost of
They have 17 arcade games and no one wants to play arcade
100%,
games.
because there's also one over there, and there's one over there. Unless you're a vape store, it's really hard to make a dent in the market. But anyway, it's interesting to, you know, consider that as we're going through this. Yeah. I mean, it's probably more interesting for me because I make you talk about it. But
I mean, I don't care at all. But we can talk about the stuff that I come here for, the politics, real soon. But back to what I'm into right now, my hyperfixation, which is how the fuck do you order a beer in this damn city. I just do think that there's like layers of cultural history here that we just don't have. Like, everyone's like, oh, Americans, all they care about is money. Gee whiz, capitalism, am I right? Bloody hell. Learn what's really important in life, everybody. I think they fucking do. That's just the way it kind of like is. It translates. It's conveyed.
They do what? What do you mean? They don't.
They get what's important in life. They have rich, deep cultural connections and histories and understand. Well, I just think that the way that we go out and drink in Australia is like so transactional. I don't care about the fact that we drink a million beers. It's more just like you go to the bar, someone, at least in my case, looks at you like gimlet-eyed, like they can't believe you got through the door. You slap your card on the reader and then you fuck off back to your friends. Like here, it's like, how do I get this guy's attention? How do I make sure that he likes me? How do I ensure that next time that I order a drink, he comes to me first? How do I pay? How do I where do I sign? I don't know. Maybe it's obviously it's just because I've never done any of this stuff before on this side of the planet. But I just found it very interesting, and it's much easier to engage people in like interesting conversations. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it certainly lacks in Western Australia. I mean, the correspondence or the interaction is someone holding up a square reader for you to tap. You know, that's the kind of closest you get to them.
Yeah, we got no culture, we got no history.
The bar and you point to the tap you want, and they pull it, and then it's like, you know, like
there's layers here.
Yeah.
There's there's subtext, there's language. I just thought it was. I could
you stand out if you're not speaking that language. That's spoken.
Yeah, and
and therefore they're like, oh, where are you from? You know, and then that's another entry into a conversation.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. We just sick piss and go to the beach. They have this whole dialogue. Yeah. You know. Anyway, the stuff that I want to talk about is the politics, baby. Before we went to a dive bar, we went and saw Zohran, Mamdani and Bernie and AOC.
So exciting that we got to go to a rally.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, we don't really do those in Australia, hey?
Not at all.
We ran 2 friggin' campaigns, didn't have a single political rally.
Picnics and...
Yeah, went to a brewery. Yeah, went to what do we do? We went to a soccer club.
It was a bowling club, but
Oh, okay.
sure.
There you go. I'm pretty sure there's a soccer. I'm pretty sure I've played soccer there.
You kicked the ball because that's not what the old man wanted of us.
No.
Are you talking about the same event?
Yeah. Sure, out the back, out the front, there's a soccer pitch. Maybe 2. I've played there as a kid. Thanks very much.
Let's talk about this for an hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
But at Forest Hills.
We don't do rallies, yeah. And
No.
so before we left, we got the tip that there's a rally and you can RSVP and it's free. And then we saw that Bernie Sanders and AOC and it was this big thing. And we were
I mean, you say we. I had no idea until we
Classic.
an hour beforehand.
So we RSVP'd, got
We sure did.
accepted.
Yep.
And I know that filled up real quick. There was 13,000 seats.
Right.
And I only know that because someone who I'd sent the link to was unable to get a seat because they'd already sold out.
Damn.
And I mean, again, that was like what we were speaking about last episode, which was that it just felt like we were seeing superstars.
Yeah.
We were going to this big American thing, like the American sports and the American, music festival. All these things are big, and then it was like this American political thing that we'd watched from afar, this kind of campaign unfolding over the last 9 months. And then we were walking into it.
I mean, it definitely felt like a concert. It felt like, you had your warm-up acts, you had your kind of, you had your MC, I suppose.
Let's describe it.
Sure. All right, I'll go first. Sarah Sherman was emceeing. I had no idea who she was. Thought she was very funny. She's an SNL comedian. I think that kind of like speaks to the sort of I can't imagine like what's the equivalent in Australia like? Do we have any like
funny people?
Well, late night talk shows anymore? They've cancelled them all, right? There's nothing left.
Footy show.
Yeah, it'd be like if my friend John Conway was emceeing your event. So I don't know. It was kind of it just felt to me. The first big take, it just felt very, very, very well choreographed.
I want to rewind to like getting off the train.
Yeah.
First of all, it was a glorious afternoon, sunny, loads of people kind of streaming towards this stadium, big round stadium, beautiful, like bricked arches.
Yep.
So you kind of walk into it, but on the walkway into the stadium,
so many volunteers, right?
all these volunteers with hand drawn signs.
Which normally you hate. Normally you want to pay the big bucks to get the the flash design.
Nope.
Oh, okay. What do you like about what did you like about the DIY nature of it?
I loved that we were about to go to a 13,000 person event with big superstars performing, and there were people holding signs that say get your tickets out, and all the way down for, I don't know, that would have been 100, 200, 300 metres.
And in that way, it felt more like a ball game to me. It felt like going to see some big sports event where you've got your people selling like the whatever the Daily Record, like the footy brochures, the leaflets, the handouts. Get your gum, get your candy, get your rattles, get your
even more grassroots than that, because it was this hodgepodge of people with these signs, and it felt like you're going to see their pal, and like a garage sale signs, around Freo that you see taped onto an upside down chair.
Yeah.
It felt like that, and your instinct when you're seeing someone with a sign that says get your tickets out or welcome or whatever is to feel very at ease, because these people are talking to you just as yourself,
Yeah.
It's not highly produced, it's not exclusive and fancy and single use, probably if you turn those signs around they had something else on the back, and I thought that was very clever, because obviously that was a directive, like we need some signs, and people were like, we need to make them, and so people were standing there and they were saying get your tickets out, get your barcode out, these are 3 queues, stay to the left, and it was interesting because there was other groups like Communist Party and the
you spent a lot of time talking to them.
Yeah.
Were you converted?
I went deep, watching newspapers.
Yeah. To sit on.
Yeah, because I knew my butt was going to get cold.
There were also lots of like influencers / like kind of just content creators, just people rolling around. Yeah, I mean,
international media.
Totally. And the New York Times wandered up and asked to interview us until they. Oh my God! Oh, you're here.
Yeah.
Right, we
Finally.
That's all right. No, as soon as she found out we were from Australia, she wandered off to find someone.
Didn't even continue, just walked off with like dead eye.
Just like halfway through the conversation, didn't finish the sentence.
Just like dropped, like.
Yeah. And there was a guy in a really big MAGA hat. I quite like that. Like sort of like not like his head was big, like the cap was like made of paper mache and was kind of like out here. It's good.
Like an insane, deranged idiot.
A couple of Israeli flags. In other words, there were like maybe like half a dozen counter protesters, but like thousands and thousands of people here to see this guy.
And this is before you walked into the gates and had little scan. We didn't really scan. Did we have scan? No, we just had to open our...
Oh, you mean for weapons, for metal? No, I didn't notice any. That was what I was surprised by, was there was no security at all that I could see. When people were getting up to speak on stage, there was nothing, like no...
that's the first thing I did.
Kind of scared. It did definitely cross my mind. My first, like, event in America, you kind of think, is there a shooter here?
100%.
Turns out there was no shooter, which was great.
Yeah.
For everyone, but they easily, it didn't feel. I think the point is, it didn't feel like some big kind of like intimidating sort of.
I think the road entry into the kind of passageway, it was maybe closed with some police at the top, so that was the.
Yeah, I mean, sure, there were cops around, but there's cops everywhere in this city.
But it wasn't. That was it though. It wasn't like there was all cops down that roadway. There wasn't.
No, it was very friendly.
No,
really.
I mean, the most cops I saw were in the French sandwich shop.
Right.
At like 5.
How was the sandwich? Did you get one?
I actually was in there and I thought, I'm going to be sick if I haven't had a sandwich. I left.
I've never had that experience.
Smoothie, which everybody enjoyed so much that it went very fast.
That
anyway,
what about once we got in there? What did you think of the talent, the lineup?
I think the MC, I agree. She was very confident with the crowd. Obviously, she started talking at 5, or I think
It just set a tone, I thought. Like Sarah Sherman, she's just a millennial comedian. She's confident, she's funny,
easy.
she's dirty, bawdy, like kind of like a bit
sarcastic.
Yeah, it was.
She was on message. She kept saying, "Scan the QR code, sign up to Canvas."
Yeah, it was just cool. I guess like it's not like there was nothing like stuffy or annoying. Or particularly like performative about it. It's just like, sure. I presume they're probably friends, or it had that energy. It felt like they'd probably like done shows together back in there. I don't really know if he did actual stand-up shows or not, but he was definitely a comedian of some kind. He was on YouTube. Maybe they met there on YouTube. Anyway, that's kind of how it felt. It felt like she'd just like been roped in to kind of like help a friend out. It was nice.
Yeah, it was cool, and it was a good call because it put everyone at ease, and they were kind of looking forward to her coming in, and just interjecting. She did very short little bits in between, so it was fun. And then there was kind of a procession of little groups of speakers that were affiliated in their little groups, right? I can't really remember. There was like a group of like whatever
state politicians,
because you're just waiting for the 3 headliners.
Well, you would think so, except
then there was some interest in the middle. Yeah.
No, I thought the whole thing was honestly, I was glued to the whole thing. I thought. For a 4-hour event, like I've been to a lot of like not political rallies per se, but like protests and stuff. And Jesus Christ, they drag on. I thought this one was like really, really well pitched. It kind of like escalated at just the right pace. I thought all of them were interesting. If they weren't like particularly polished, they were really kind of like heartfelt or whatever. The early crowd. Then Brad Lander came out, this kind of like New York City mayoral candidate who ended up endorsing Zohran. He's like the city comptroller. It's fucking hilarious. So funny. Great, so sweet, so moving, such a great character.
What's that?
Fire.
The other trick with that was that the MC said, if we've got a tight schedule, if people speak too long, there's going to be a bell. And so you already were primed to know that it wasn't going to go on and on and on. Yeah. And I think that was a good cue for an audience perspective to know that it was being controlled. And therefore people were kind of moving through.
Yeah.
But Brad, first of all, it's a comptroller. I thought it was a controller.
No.
I mean, I know it's not now.
Yeah.
But I would never have thought the word comptroller was a thing.
Oh, yeah, I knew. I'm all over the comptrollers. They've got them. They've got them everywhere.
Comptrollers of the world.
Yeah.
And we think that that's kind of like the CEO, right? Manages the money and the people, they're kind of...
I mean, I guess the mayor's the CEO, really.
Well, that's
when you think about it.
Not how it normally works.
What do you mean?
What's the... in Fremantle.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah. I thought we were doing like metaphors. You mean like literally the roles within the actual council. Yeah, no, it's true. I don't think there's a CEO of New York. I think that's just the mayor.
The comp.
They got real.
So what's the comptroller then?
He's a CFO. He's finance. I mean, who cares? Like, honestly, who gives a shit? The point is that Brad Lander is like kind of.
So why was he speaking?
Because.
Why did he get the CFO to speak?
Oh, because he ran in the election, man. He was a candidate. He was a contender.
He was a Democratic candidate.
Mayoral candidate. Yeah, I actually said that a couple of minutes ago, but we can dive.
Well,
we can unpack it more.
I'm still stuck on comptroller.
He's cool. The reason they got him is because he's really fucking good talent. Everyone loves him. Like I'd say he's the crowd favourite.
How come he didn't get voted in over Zohran?
Because he's not got that quite got that X factor. Like he's very endearing. He's very lovable. But I guess like he's not as cool as Zohran. You know, like he does videos with his daughter. They're funny. They're sweet. They're not quite as grabby.
Did he get endorsed by the Democrats as they preferred? Like I know. Zohran.
No, because it was the Democratic primary. Like there was like 19 Democrats all trying to beat the shit out of each other to be the one that they actually ended up endorsing.
Who's the one that ordinarily would have been like the favourite?
Well, Andrew Cuomo. Obviously, he was like the chosen one. He was the governor before. He was like 25 points ahead in the polls in the primary. And then he got beat. He's got his ass beat, and now he's like a refashioned indie outsider. Yeah. But I don't know. I just think Brad Lander's like the kind of guy who you only find in America. Really, he's big and like big heart.
That he said on the when Zohran got chosen in the primary, and what did he say to the crowd? Brad Lander on that. He said, and I'll say it again, what I said on the night.
I don't know. What did he say?
You wrote it in your article.
Did I? Mm-hmm. What did he say?
Good.
Fucking riddance.
Riddance.
Right, I didn't realise that was the
And it
cue.
was so good. Like when he goes, good fucking riddance, and the crowd was like up on their feet. It was so good.
Which, when you think about the fact that he is the city comptroller, is quite remarkable, really.
Completely inappropriate.
Totally. For the governor, blah, 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 blah. But I think it just shows that everyone hates Andrew Cuomo so much, and they all just think he's finished. It's over, game over. Which I guess is kind of like another aspect of this is that everyone's feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They like everyone kind of. It's not really like, oh my god, shit, will we, won't we?
Yes.
It's kind of like almost like a victory lap.
It wasn't a nail biter. Oh, it doesn't feel like a nail biter, but I mean that's certainly. Now we're receiving Zohran's emails twice a day currently, I think. He's saying, don't take this for granted. Of course, voting here is not compulsory. So he's relying on people not thinking it's a done deal and actually going out to vote. And presumably Andrew Cuomo, etc., his supporters are thinking, we've got to get the older, richer people voting to get, so there's still that tension of like, there's still a chance that actually people won't show up.
Yeah.
So, Brad Lander, and then there was Kathy
Hochul,
H.
yeah, the governor. She was the one where it was really lucky that there was like pre-established sort of noise to let everyone know when the time was up, because then the crowd could just kind of like start giving it to her from way earlier in the piece. She almost got ran off the stage. Like she wasn't very popular.
To be honest, I don't know very much about her at all. Aside from that, she late endorsed Zohran, and she. I learnt from the crowd who were going, tax the rich, over her speech. And then to the point where she was like, I hear you, after it went on for so long. Every time she started a new kind of sentence about something else, the crowd would get louder and louder and louder.
Yeah, but then ironically, when she was asked about it the next day by journalists, it turns out she didn't... Jesus.
Did you write that in your...
No, I don't know if I'd actually seen it at that point, but the next day she was asked about it at like some press conference. It suddenly got very quiet. It's so strange. So it comes in waves.
The most beautiful part of this whole thing, because, I'm watching this not really knowing who this woman is, aside from, hearing people around me going, we need a new governor, like just kind of jeering, and then the whole crowd going, tax the rich. And then by the end of her speech, Zohran came on for the first time we'd seen him and hugged her and then kind of waved to the crowd and then took her off. And man, it was like the most gracious, beautiful display of kindness and compassion and recognition, thank you for doing this. I get it, the crowd, and he's saying to the crowd, come on, she's with us.
Yeah.
And I thought, he didn't have to do that, and he would have said, I'm going to go out and save her,
Yeah, and that's a really beautiful way of looking at it. I think the way I also saw it is...
cynically it?
Well, I think it was just a power move.
No.
It could be both. It was very warm and gracious and lovely, but it was also a sign of I'm the boss now. Yeah, exactly. You need me. I'm the one who decides who lives and who dies.
You take the shine off life.
It's just. I don't think it takes the shine off at all. I think it's cool. I think it's
cool, but
it's exciting and fun, and it can be both sweet and also a sign of a
Daddy's
pretty.
home.
Yeah, or just the times have changed. Kathy Hochschul's of this world better wake up and realise that.
How old's Kathy? 60s, 70s?
I wouldn't say she's 70.
60s.
Maybe. Yeah, she's probably older than 50. Put it that way. She's older than him.
She's older than
old enough to be his mum.
Okay. Anyway, so that was interesting. After Kathy, there were some other religious figures, I think, at that point. And then
but then there was the Resistance, the Resistance choir, and Brad Lander. That was cool. While they stacked up the stage behind them,
yes, that's right.
in the bleachers with all the kind of the diversity, the required diversity, all the different kind of colours and ages, and all of that. And then the real heavyweights came out, the Stars.
Who do you think is Bernie or AOC the star of those two?
Oh, AOC's got all the star power for sure, but everyone loves. But Bernie's kind of he's been around for so long. He's probably not got quite the energy that he wants. He's still very good though.
We went for dinner at some new friends' house, one of whom was from Fremantle, the rest were American, and one of the girls at the end of the night was leaving, put a jumper on, feel the burn, and I was thinking, you're not seeing AOC jumpers in that way. It's Bernie Sanders is if you're a supporter of him for a long time, you've got it, you've been there. It's just it's a real signifier. Whereas I think, you've got to earn that, and he's earned it. And
for sure,
obviously he's supported AOC as a kind of a mentor, and now he's doing it for Zohran, and he's God, and they're the disciples.
And he was in politics before they were even born literally, and he's run for president multiple times. People have really had time to develop relationship.
I'm just taking this off for consistency. I'm taking it off because it's clanging and annoying.
So I mean, Bernie's, Bernie's always been here.
But when you think about those two, as we saw them individually speak, I mean, the rousing nature of AOC is. I mean, I read an article just before, and I got goosebumps thinking about it.
Yeah, she was electric. She's incredible. But I mean, I think it's interesting because when Zohran came out, he was, I said in an article that I wrote, unlike me, he's better off the cuff. He was
they were
quick
all
and
reading off auto cues or no?
I don't know if they were all off teleprompters. I'm pretty sure she had a phone. Bernie probably had some handwritten notes.
She was turning pages.
Was she?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe. Brad Lander definitely had a phone in his hand. I saw.
Did he?
Zohran was the one who had the teleprompter, but he was better before they turned it on. They couldn't turn it on for a couple of minutes, couldn't figure out where the switch was or whatever. He was great when he was just riffing. Then the teleprompter came in. He's still good. He's just not quite he's a real kind of visceral sort of people person. Whereas AOC, on the stump, she's exceptional. She's the best.
Interesting though. She stumbled on some words, and then I look for that stuff because, when you've written the perfect speech. No, when you write a great speech and then you read it and you stumble on a word here or there, and you just think, God, I didn't nail that line, or I didn't deliver that bit was supposed to be a bit more powerful, whatever. And I notice when people are stumbling or not because I am jealous most of the time of their talent, quality, whatever. And I think, have they been trained? Are they, how are they just natural orators or whatever? And I noticed she stumbled on words, but it was her body language. She started bouncing on her toes, and she was delivering each line, and it was she was throwing her energy out, and you could, and people were getting up and standing, and then just AOC, like, over, and she was just like going and going, and it was like, I mean, I've got goosebumps talking about it, just thinking about it. It makes me feel almost teary, because it was just, it was like, it was religious.
Yeah.
You know, it was, I mean, one glass of wine. But yeah, it was.
But that's the way.
I didn't get that from Bernie or Zohran.
No, I mean, I thought Bernie was great.
They were great.
Yeah, they've all got their different like approaches, different roles, different kind of levels they pitch at. But yeah, I mean, AOC was definitely like the stat. Like she was, she knocked it out of the park.
And she's gorgeous, and she beams, and she's cool and hot, and she's just got it all. She's just channeling something. Like she's really onto something. Yeah. I reckon I'm calling it. She's going to be the 2028 Democratic nominee for president. I reckon her time has come. She's riding on what happens in this election. For sure. I wish Bernie Sanders was a little bit younger so they could run as a double act.
Why not? I mean, what is he? Like, he'd be in his 80s now, I guess, would he?
He's like 83.
That's fine. Yeah, VPs can die. No one cares. It's a pretty cruisy job. You don't really do much. You know? What do they do? I don't know. What is...
I don't know,
fuck knows. Yeah.
Write a book, make a movie.
Yeah, true.
That was free. Yeah, it was a wonderful thing to observe and see and feel, because, as you said at the beginning, we don't do that stuff. We don't do Halloween, and we don't do
political
rallies.
No, we don't take ourselves seriously enough, or I think probably more accurately, like, we're scared of being seen to, like, care or something.
Yeah, totally.
As
an audience, like,
it's earnest. There's an earnestness to it. There's a sweetness and an earnestness, and just a sense of like theatre that I just don't think we have in political life or in public life at all.
Yeah. Why would you go and do that? Yeah, it's like a bit embarrassing, and then as a politician, like you big-headed show off. You know, like, there's all that stuff, and it's like American to be like this. And so we went to that rally.
Wasn't the only one we went to though. We went to two.
Yeah.
Went to a sort of a more kind of like suburban community vibes, smaller scale, shorter. He was only there for about like 7 minutes. Zohran, that is. And
quite targeted in its audience.
Yeah. So where were we? What was it? Who was the audience?
So we went to a canvassing. So they called door knocking canvassing, and we went to one the other night in the week, and they said, we were like, how do you think? Do you think we'll ever meet Zohran or see him further than, or closer than 100 kilometres away? And they said there's this Muslims for Mamdani. Was that what it was called? Maybe
not per se. I think it was more like sort of Southeast Asian kind of community energy.
So it was in a place called Jamaica, which is like half an hour from where we are in Brooklyn. Quite far out, and really interestingly, getting off the subway there, and it was so strange. I had this feeling that we were in like one of the, almost where I lived in the UK. It was quite low lying, where we are. It's just like skyscrapers. It was low lying, and it was really Pakistani, Bangladesh, lots of Southeast Asian eateries and barbers, and it just felt like we were in the UK, I thought. It was really peculiar, and then my brain was like doing that, like, oh, where are you? Where are you? And then we walked from the subway to this little park, and it was all kind of set up with banners. And
we were late, obviously. It had already started.
Everything that we do. He spoke for 10 minutes. Yeah.
And there was, as before, there was like a lineup, a set list. There were people introducing him. The Democratic representative, Mo Channa, was there introducing him. I don't actually think it was his name. We can, edit, just do a little tweak. Ro Channa, something anyway. There was a Democratic representative there introducing him. There were speakers beforehand. They got everyone out on stage. At the end, there was probably like 10 or something. His mum was there. Yeah. But there was just probably like, I don't know, maybe, what do you reckon, like 1,000 people maybe in the park, perhaps? 500, 1,000, I don't know.
It felt very dense, and of course, there was lots of, I don't know why I said of course, but there was lots of men, as a kind of Muslim-like contingent of men, women kind of standing towards the periphery, and they were pretty amped. They were like literally bouncing and cheering and chanting. What was interesting was when Zohran got on stage, was you could hear jeering and heckling, and in his speech, which was not off the cuff, he would have written something, but he wasn't reading anything. He said, and our favourite hecklers are here, of course, and so he's very accustomed to them following him around and just showing up as in events, I guess.
Yeah.
But I couldn't hear what they were saying, and if it was like anti-him, anti-Muslim, pro-Trump, I couldn't quite detect.
It was really hard for me to tell as well. I think one of them was just kind of like your classic sort of Trump guy, just talking about kind of like deep state areas stuff. There was another guy who was close to me, but I really didn't understand what the hell he was trying to say. He was talking about Cuba. I think he was saying, this isn't Russia, this isn't Cuba, we're not socialist, we're not communist, this is America, motherfucker. And he was saying very loud for a very long time, but it was really, hard to make much sense of it.
Where I was standing, suddenly there was like this parade of kind of police bringing someone through, who was an old guy, kind of just looked like could have been doing a bit of racism.
Yeah, right.
A little light racism.
Yeah.
But it was, he continued talking and he spoke a bit louder and, he obviously is very accustomed to it. And, the crowd were wearing, Zohran beanies and caps and T-shirts and bags and stickers, and they all had signs. And what's interesting about his campaign is there's all these, it's like educators for Mamdani, Muslims for Mamdani, Pakistan, like really specific kind of hot girls for, when we were talking to the door knocking crew, they were like, Aussies from Mamdani, like they were, like every group can kind of find their way in.
Yeah, there's a lot of micro-targeting. And you mentioned, as we were walking there were flyers up on sort of bus stops and things. They were very kind of like the design, the clothes he was wearing, the kind of everything. And if you go on social media, like just before we started recording this, I was looking, there's a new video up where he's speaking in Arabic, targeting, I think, specifically like Syrian New Yorkers. So it's kind of, it's very like, it's both extremely inclusive. He's like trying to make sure there's kind of no stone left unturned, and also very sort of like selective.
And that's interesting when I think about when we were speaking to the door knocking crew, they said, we've got a list of everyone that we want to door knock. And we only are door knocking on Democrats and undecided. So when they're speaking Arabic or, like deciding on their campaign kind of threads, I guess they've got all that information. So they're like, this is a group that traditionally doesn't vote or doesn't engage or whatever. So let's target them. And, I guess his messages are really resonating with those groups because they'll be really, I think, as you said in one of your stories, it's everyone in all the service industries are of minority group, and they are used as part of the infrastructure almost, and so they are neglected, and they have been neglected because it is the rich and powerful that run this place, and this is suddenly this complete turning of everything on its head, and really with such clarity and warmth and excited kind of, not rage, but like passion that's really infectious, it's exciting. It feels really cool. And it's like nothing we've seen here before, in America. In this kind of groundswell. Yes, Bernie's been talking about it for decades, but it's like, this is like, I guess because it's being amplified so much on socials, and he's everywhere all the time, and it's cool and contemporary, and it just feels like it's new and awesome.
Yeah.
It is awesome because it's 100,000 volunteers in a town of 8 million.
But you do really feel it the most at these events, I think, at these rallies, when he's on the street with people around him. You can kind of like, it becomes much more tangible and perceptible because, like you say, when you're just kind of, walking down the average New York City street, it can be pretty hard to, remember there's an election going on at all. 100%. So the rallies, I think, are quite important in that respect. Final question, do you reckon we can bring them back to Australia? What do you reckon? Muslims for Kate? Aussies for Kate? Hot girls for Kate?
Well, it's interesting. I think it's, I was thinking about that this afternoon, that creating all those little pockets makes sense here because it's so big and sprawling. But I would worry that somehow in WA your groups have got like 3 people in them, you know? There's only 3 hot girls. No, just joking. The hot girls would be enormous, and then there would be hardly anything of anyone else.
Yeah.
No hot boys. No, just joking. There's 3 hot boys. Oh my God.
Who are they? Name them.
My boy. But yeah, I you know, we worked really hard in the campaign to be very open door and inclusive, and to talk to everyone and not make them or anyone feel excluded. Make anyone feel like they can come and sit down and be a part of it without judgment. And I wondered if you started segmenting people like that in Australia, it would start being problematic. You know. But you know, when I think about, like, there's groups like Doctors for Climate, Surfers for Climate, Parents for Climate. In a way, that's doing that, to say, like, you've got an access point into this idea of protecting the climate. You don't have to be, you know, a dreadlocked hippie wearing bare feet and screaming at the sky, whatever.
Yeah.
But with a political campaign in Australia, I don't know. It's nice to signal that everyone is invited.
But what he does is he does manage to get them all out, whether it's like a rally where it's just Muslims, just people from Southeast Asia, just hot girls. Let's find out when the next one of those is happening.
Yeah, and I think, you know, we're trying to observe these things as, like, how are they running this? Like, there's obviously his team that are setting up the stage and the little pull-up banners and stuff. There's also the canvassing groups in their little tents, and they feel quite distinct. And then, of course, he's got his close team that are bringing him in, putting him on stage, taking him back out. It's a very big operation to run this man. And he is the only candidate with a security detail, because he's received so many death threats, which is horrifying to think that you've got Republican gun-wielding people on your back. But yeah, there's a lot to unpack, and I think that's quite interesting. We've got some little ins here and there that we're going to try and pursue. But yeah, rallies, cool. Him, cool. What did you think when he came on stage? What was like this afternoon?
Today? Yeah. What did I think?
It's weird seeing someone you've watched so much on your phone.
Yeah, totally. I did. Given that this one was so much smaller as an event, given that we were going to be so close to him, and there was every chance we might get to talk to him, I did think I was feeling a bit starstruck. Honestly, I was feeling a bit like, kind of like, oh my god, oh wow.
That's nice.
But yeah, I mean, I thought he kind of seemed a bit tired, kind of thing. As you'd expect. Been doing this for a year now. It's a long campaign.
Having done a 2-month campaign and how like zombie-fied we were, doing it for a year at this intensity,
exhausting,
that the whole world is watching.
Yeah, it's a lot.
He would be completely out of his mind. Yeah,
he'd want a bit of a holiday, I reckon.
And we got a hot tip that he was doing some filming at 1 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
Today. So, you know, you can just imagine his schedule is
around the clock.
Out of this
City that never sleeps. Nor does the mayor.
Mamdani that never sleeps.
Yeah.
What a cool guy. How cool.
Yeah.
Cool to be here. Cool town. Cool rallies. Cool everything.
Yeah, cool.
Cool.
Cool. All right.
What are we going to talk about next time?
I've got no idea. You tell me. You write the bloody run sheet.
We're going to talk about, I think, his campaign.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
Like, is this the coolest campaign? Is this the best campaign? Is this the contemporary campaign?
Yeah.
Is this the future of campaigning?
Okay. All right.
Tune in next time.